We have had quite the journey through Libra season, having just finished going through what was known as the Ring of Matter with the first four gate activations as part of Libra. And as we now come into the teachings of gate number 32, the gate of duration, we're also reminded that Libra as an air element is that balance. It is the balance between the masculine, the feminine, and really bringing us deep within the seventh house of partnerships and commitment. So when we're looking at that in terms of our splenic awareness center and all the time that we've been spending down in that splenic center as part of Libra season, and we will continue that journey into Scorpio season, that is always about the teachings of our fears related to survival and the home of our deepest intuition. So we always have on one side of us these fears that we are here to learn to transcend, but we're also here to be aware of the essence of those fears that might be leading us towards helping to preserve those things that are required for our survival, for the survival of humanity. So we always want to go into these teachings with looking at both sides to all things and really encouraging you to find the balance in between those sides for yourself. This is all about self-actualization and taking you into a deeper contemplation to discover these teachings within. So let us dive right into the teachings of gate number 32, the gate of duration. And, looking at those balancing scales again and going through the teachings of the I Ching, it teaches us that the only reliable feature in life is change, giving everyone the need to constantly adapt to the latest circumstances. And when we really open our eyes to the world around us, we're going to see that all things do exist. We very much live in a world of have and have nots. There are many different elements that are occurring at all times. And quite often we are resistant to change, or we're not aware of the effects of change, and maybe not considering how the entireness of humanity is operating in one big ecosystem. So it's easy when things are working well on one part of the world to maybe not pay attention to the other side of the world. But when we start becoming impacted by all things that are changing at a global level, we can no longer ignore those consequences. And we can look at having to go through the experience of COVID and the years that followed and all the different elements that were a part of that as an opportunity to really see things from a global perspective, where we were all facing the realities of something that was very unfamiliar, unknown to all of us, and having to adapt and embrace change. So we're going to dive deep into looking at the gate of duration within your human design body graph. And you're going to want to take a look at your chart to see if you have gate number 32 circled. And this is really going to be the awareness of what can be transformed or not. That splenic center in human design, your primal awareness center, it holds the fears related to survival. It holds your deepest intuition, and it really does govern the health and well-being of your body. And it does that by sending out all these little T cells, which are kind of like the eyes, the nose, and the ears within your body system, that then alerts you to whether something is compromising your health, compromising your safety, compromising your survival, and bringing that up to the forefront. In this case, those of you that have gate number 32, or if you're joining as part of the turning around the mandala wheel and this gate opening up within the collective energy, you may be noticing a essence of fear within this gate that is related to the fear of failure. And when we really contemplate the fear of failure within ourselves, you may notice that it creeps up at times and it holds you back from doing what you want to do. And we all have stories around what it means to be successful, what it means to fail. We all have a willingness to try or not to try. Some of us embrace change, some of us don't embrace change. And it's really about leaning into your own design and getting to know yourself and working through how the fear may have a hold on you in terms of its conditioning, and how you can use the essence of that fear for the highest good. So in this case, a little bit of the fear of failure is going to push you to go the distance. That is the teachings of the gate of duration. It is going to help you dig in a little bit deeper. It's going to help you to maybe slow down and notice the details. It will operate differently for each and every one of us. It may also really keep you frozen in the fear and not engaging in life. And these are areas where if you are more aware of its hold over you, you can start to walk the journey into developing some really deep self-awareness, self-confidence, more faith in your intuitive nature that will then naturally start to dispel the fear and release its hold. So let's explore some of the intuition within this gate, and this is going to be related to your sense of smell. Now again, smell can be a physical sensation. It can be a vibrational energy where you just have a nose for something. So that can be an expression of, I have a nose for potential. I have a nose for spotting something. So it's the ability here to smell instability or unrest. So you're literally smelling a change to the weather, a change to the circumstances. You're getting the heads up that something is coming. And you may also notice that on a physical level, so your physical body, you may start having a twitch. Some people start having their arthritis flare up if there's going to be a storm. You might notice that you get a little bit more antsy, right? So really kind of paying attention to how your body's trying to communicate to you that something is coming in your direction, and it wants you to be alert to that. A lot of times, if we're not aware of how our body is operating and how we tend to react to the energies around us, then we don't notice those clues that can be very obvious to other people that, hey, something is up with you. You're acting very off today. But we seem to dismiss that until we dive a little bit deeper into recognizing that we do feel the shifts of the changing of the weather, and we do feel the shifts to the changing of the seasons, and we do feel the shifts to the changes of the moon cycles, the planetary involvement, and what is happening at a collective level. The collective, the macro, is always affecting the micro, which is yourself. So the more you get to pay attention to your body, the sounds, the sights, the symbols, and how you just intuitively respond to the world around you, the more you're really going to bring those gifts to the forefront. The nature of Gate 32 duration is to try to find a path in life that is sure and steady, meaning it's looking for stability. It's looking for kind of a guarantee. It wants to commit to the long term, and it wants to be assured that it can meet those end goals. So it actually, at its truest nature, it thrives if things are at a plateau. It doesn't necessarily want change as long as things are going well. It wants the assurance that this is going to last, that this is going to be sustainable. It's looking for longevity in its relationships, its commitments. So you may notice for yourself there's this kind of energy of, it's okay to just kind of coast through life. Don't always have to rock the boat. You don't always have to climb up the mountain. But as long as you are receiving what it is that really fills you up with that contentment. So the other part of this is when you're not where you are feeling that contentment, you will climb the mountain. You will keep your eye on the goal. You will keep your eye on the prize, and you will do what's necessary to go the distance in order to achieve that. So it is committed to really digging deep when it needs to dig deep and to avoid failure at all costs. And this is where we really have to attune our awareness, because sometimes the cost you pay to succeed may be greater than what you would have paid if you were aware of the circumstances. And this is where we're really going to be delving into the conditioning aspects of how society teaches us what success is, how we buy into a program of what failure is, and how to attune more deeply into yourself so that you can bring in that gift of Libra, the air, the scales, the balancing, the diplomat, to be able to choose that for yourself. For you to have a very clear awareness, a definition of your own success and what it means to succeed, and what failure truly means, and how you resonate with its teachings. So as we go forward, a couple of questions for your own self-actualization are, how adaptable are you to change? And really take an assessment of your life and times where you've had to make some changes, and really take an observer view to notice, how were you in the beginning? How were you in the middle? How were you in the end? Because this can also come in stages for you. Another question is, do you trust in your intuitive nature to guide you, or do you make decisions from your mind? And again, we are programmed to do all of our thinking from the mind, to have a reason, to have logic, to have assurance, to have a guarantee, to have a plan, to have a destination, right? We have all these things that have been programmed in the mind. But can you trust in your intuition that will guide you one step at a time towards a future that you do not know, and you're not guaranteed to achieve your definition of success? So some deep contemplations as we're going through Libra season. Now, another part of this is it is connected, leading down towards the root center within human design. So it has the potential to form what is known as the channel of transformation. And again, you're going to want to check your human design chart to see if you have this channel. And whenever you have a channel, so two centers, colored in centers, connected by a line, those are very big themes to how your energy flows within your body. So in this case, the channel of transformation, connecting the root center with the splenic center, is providing pressure in the form of stress to be healthy. And this is pure body consciousness, so it's going to affect the immunity system. The gate 54 within the root center, and the root center is always about how we evolve And it's going to give us the pressure in the form of stress to help us evolve, to push us forward. So, how we respond to stress, how we keep our equilibrium when we're under pressure, really noticing again if you are trying to do too much, too fast, if you are undefined in the root center, so it's white in your chart, you're picking up other people's stresses at 200%. So again, if we're not aware of how our natural body operates, we can so easily pick up the conditioning from those around us and try to mimic their rhythms, their behaviors, their processes, which is going to bring you out of step with your own natural rhythm. So you want to find your operating system, how you operate at the best that you can be in your authentic self. And this channel of transformation is going to help you to achieve that. It's drawing pressure from that gate 54, known as the gate of ambition, which really does give the energy to achieve, to rise up, to really kind of feed into making it to the top no matter what. So this could literally be climbing the mountain. Now, we also have to be careful because when we operate from the highest good, this is the energy to succeed no matter what, meaning you're going to dig in deep, you're going to be given the resources, you're going to be gifted what you require to achieve what you're here to achieve in life. But if the ego, the mind, is driving the way, this is where we see people competing with one another, climbing over top of one another, backstabbing one another, becoming the workaholic, so disregarding the rest of life and focusing only on achieving a certain goal. So again, not being aware of what it's actually costing you. So there's a compulsion in here to succeed materially, socially, spiritually, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have an abundance of material objects around you, to have a very successful life, to have a title, to have a status, to have a social group, to rise in the spiritual ladder. None of that is right or wrong. What matters is knowing, where is this coming from? What version of you is trying to succeed? Is this your soul that you are allowing its light to guide the way, that is guiding towards doing those learning objectives that it came here in this lifetime to do? To move through the karma that it is here to clear up, to transmute, to transform? Or is all the power going to the mind, the egoic self that is programmed from the world around and its version of success, and judging itself as being a less than if it's not measuring up to what its eyes believe it needs to be, what its ears believe it needs to be? So we form all of these pictures, we form all of these opinions, we form all of these destinations and ways of measuring ourselves against one another, and it really does distort the reality of what the soul came here to do, came here to transform in order to grow in a deeper sense of health, well-being, and really coming online with your operating system, meaning the cells within your body, the potential of your light, the nucleus really firing its energy through the cells of your nature, which then brings you fully online. It really adds to the whole richness of humanity when each and every one of us are succeeding at our full potential, that is the way forward, where we're really kind of leaning towards this new golden era, the golden world. So there's a drive in here to succeed through applying oneself. And this is where you're going to follow your nose, right? So sometimes it's literally a smell, and sometimes it's just that expression of, I'm following my nose. I'm following that idea. I'm following that individual. I'm following that project. And when you are attuned to the magic of the world and you're trusting in your intuition, you will just naturally align with the right people. You will naturally get the right resources. You will naturally stay focused on the target ahead because you are motivated to go in that direction. Therefore, your energy, your time, your commitment, everything is funneled towards achieving what it is that you are set on to achieve. Now, again, the same can be said for that egoic self, or the program of the mind, for being so driven to succeed and feeding the idea of what it is you think you should do in order to get there. And you will still find the right people to help you. It may cost them to help you. It may cost you to get them to help you. You're still going to find the right resources. You're still going to maintain your focus, and you're still going to be applying all of your energy and commitment to whatever it is you are focusing on. So it's really clear that at the foundation of you, and this is where we see the importance of knowing your root center, your connection to the world, your connection to safety, to security, to material objects, to relationships, and how you intuitively know what is correct for you and what is not, and how much you are really attuning to your health and well-being instead of overriding it by what the mind tries to tell you is for your greater good. We can so easily deceive ourselves to believe anything that mind, that ego, the sense of I, little I, is in control, instead of listening to the soft, subtle voice of the ancient body wisdom. So asking yourself, what version of me is trying to succeed? Am I ready to transform through my stories and align myself to a higher truth? In other words, are you ready to really look at yourself in the mirror and ask, why am I heading in that direction? And is that for the highest good? What do I believe success to be? Is that truly your version of success? And do you trust in life to take care of you? This one is so important. We've been raised in a society where, again, we're taught to compete. We're taught that things are scarce, so we have a scarcity mindset. And when we're not trusting in life, we don't trust in ourselves to be a part of life. So there is a very intimate relationship between how you interact with the world and how the world in turn reacts with you and supports you. It's that law of attraction of whatever the mind thinks about, it will receive. So if you're putting out stories of lack, stories of poverty, you will get more and more experiences from the universe that shows you this is lack, this is poverty. The energy is not judging, is that truly what you want? It's giving you exactly what it is that you are generating. So you are the ultimate energy manifester. Thoughts become things. Energy becomes that magnetic force. And when we really start to become aware of, well, what is guiding my way? Is your mind trying to drive your future Is it operating from a program that has been conditioned from society? Have you bought into somebody else's belief system? Are you aligning yourself to achieve what other people have told you to achieve? Are you chasing someone else's dream? So these are all very important things to really start to contemplate as we're moving through this gateway of duration. Because when we end out Libra season, we're going to find ourselves in gate 50, which is all about our values. And our values is going to be drawing from gate 27, which is the gate of nurturing. So if you are feeding yourself, what are you nurturing yourself with? And if you haven't gone and listened through the first 4 gate activations as part of Libra season, where we've gone and traveled through the ring of matter, looking at the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, diving deep back into the womb and all 3 stages of that fetus, I really encourage you to go back and listen to those because it truly does matter. The ring of matter matters. Just like now going through this channel of transformation, really getting clear on what you are fighting for, heading towards, putting your energy towards, what has gotten you really locked into going the duration towards, and having that clarity of mind before you get any further in your journey of really nurturing yourself on whatever you are feeding into your system. So we're going to dive deeper now into the teachings of Gate 32 duration. And we're going to turn to the teachings of the gene keys, which is literally the key that opens up the gateway and brings us the inner alchemy to do our own inner transformation work. So every single one of the gates in human design has a gene key, has an opportunity for inner alchemy. And we are referring to the book, The Gene Keys. This is by Richard Rudd, and I highly encourage you to grab a copy if that's available to you. And we're going to take a journey through the teachings of what it means to go through the shadow of failure, the dilemma of panic. So what happens when we panic and then make decisions from that point? Leaning towards the gift of preservation. So what do you want to carry with you into your next moments? What is worthy of preserving? And looking at the highest light aspect, the Tsudi of veneration.